The message came while I was buying flowers at the store. Don't come Thursday. You're banned, idiot. My mother's words sat there on my screen like ice. No phone call. No explanation. Just mean words that made my hands shake. I put the flowers back, walked to my car, and something inside me changed. I decided their Thanksgiving could happen without my help. 4 days passed. While they ate pie and laughed, every single payment I made for them stopped. My phone started ringing. 87 times people tried to call me. And that was only the beginning. Before we go further, please hit the like button and write a comment telling me your city. Has your family ever made you feel small? When most people think about family, they imagine love, warm hugs, a safe place where everyone belongs. My family looked normal from outside. Pictures showed us smiling. Everyone dressed nice for holidays. Dad would cut the meat while Mom acted like the queen of the table. But underneath those smiles lived something cold. Some people got treated special. Others got ignored. And nobody wanted to talk about it. My name is Riley Brooks. I just turned 27 last month. I'm the quiet daughter. The one nobody really sees. But I had one special skill nobody else could match. I knew how to handle money. I could fix problems before they grew big. When bills came late, I made them disappear before anyone noticed. Last year, Dad got really sick and needed an operation. The hospital wanted lots of money. Insurance helped some, but not enough. I paid the rest without telling anyone how much it hurt my bank account. After that day, everything changed for me. I stopped being their daughter. I became their money machine. The phone bill. Mine to pay. The internet that everyone used. Mine to handle. The electric bill they forgot about. Mine to remember. Month after month, I kept saying yes because I believe that's what family does. You help even when it hurts. Meanwhile, my brother Ethan got treated like a star. He could do nothing wrong in their eyes. Every time he talked about his new job or showed off fancy dinners, I was home paying the water bill they ignored again. Every time he posted happy pictures online, I bought groceries my parents pretended they could afford themselves. Mom bragged about Ethan's success to everyone like she did it herself. But me. I was just the boring one who asked too many questions about money. Sometimes I fooled myself into thinking tomorrow would be different. Like when Mom made her special cookies and the whole house smelled sweet. Or when Dad watched his sports games and fell asleep in his chair. I'd look at our old family picture on the wall. Me with my bad haircut. Ethan smiling big. And I'd wonder if maybe someday we could all sit together without anyone making fun of me. But deep in my heart, I knew the truth. The way they treated Ethan special wasn't an accident. It happened over and over on purpose. Every time Ethan needed money, everyone looked at me to give it. Every time I said something that mattered, they told me to be quiet and stop causing problems. That was my job in this family. Be invisible. Keep your mouth shut. But always pay the bills. Then Mom's text message came, telling me to stay away from Thanksgiving. It didn't surprise me. This had been building for a long time. They'd been pushing me away slowly, piece by piece, year after year. That text was just the final proof. The trouble started in our family group chat on phones. Everyone was talking about who would come to Thanksgiving dinner. I saw all the names scroll by like a list for a big party. Party I helped pay for. And my name wasn't anywhere. I stared at my phone screen, waiting, thinking maybe they forgot to type it. Finally I wrote, "What about me?" The little dots appeared like someone was typing. Then Ethan answered, "No room. Maybe Christmas if you act better." Those words made my stomach hurt. Not because of what Ethan said, but because nobody else said he was wrong. Mom didn't fix it. Dad stayed silent. My aunts and uncles acted like they didn't see anything. Their silence meant they agreed with him. Called Mom right away. Through the phone I heard dishes clinking and people laughing. The party already started without me. "You can't come until you say sorry to Ethan for ruining his special dinner last week," she said. Her voice sounded flat like she was reading rules from a book. "By ruining, you mean I asked why he keeps borrowing rent money while bragging about his big paychecks?" Said back. Behind her voice, I heard Uncle Pete say something mean. There goes Riley again. Always worried about money. Everyone laughed. Everyone except me. Heat crawled up my neck into my face. You want me to cause drama? Then stop using my card to pay for everything automatically, I said. My voice stayed calm but hard. The phone went quiet for a second. A door slammed on their side like they thought I was joking. Then Mom hung up on me. 10 minutes later, Aunt Linda sent me a text. Don't make everything about money. Family should stick together no matter what. Then she posted a picture online. Long table. Candles glowing. Everyone's name tagged underneath. Everyone but mine. On Thursday, when Thanksgiving actually happened, my phone filled up with pictures. Turkey, mashed potatoes, pumpkin pie. Every caption said things like, best family in the world. My phone buzzed one more time. Again. We saved you a plate. You can pick it up from the front porch. Like I was someone delivering packages, not her daughter. I drove past their house later that evening. The white plate sat on the porch wrapped in foil. A neighborhood cat was sniffing around it from the side. I left it sitting there. On purpose. The next morning was Black Friday, the big shopping day. I tried to make my day feel normal. I went to my favorite coffee shop for a muffin and hot chocolate. Aunt Linda happened to be there too. She waved at me like I was a problem she had to deal with. She told the person at the counter. She gets upset about successful people. Maybe keep the talking short. The worker's smile disappeared. The lady standing behind me whispered, That's harsh. Suddenly the whole shop felt different. Colder. Unfriendly. I walked out without getting my muffin. I sat in my car until the heater cleared the foggy windows. That same afternoon, Ethan called me acting like nothing bad happened. Hey, can you send me $600 for my girlfriend's birthday present? I'll pay you back on Friday, he said. Then he added, and everyone would feel better if you just apologized and stopped being so difficult. I didn't say anything back. He kept talking to fill up the quiet. You know how it works. Family takes care of family. Sitting there in my car, I finally understood what was really happening. Family didn't take care of each other. Took care of them. And the more I gave, the less they saw me. That moment changed everything for me. This wasn't a confusion or a mistake. This was their plan all along. By Saturday, all the noise in my head turned into a clear decision. I sat at my kitchen table while my phone kept buzzing with messages I refused to read. I opened the Notes app on my phone and started making a list. Line by line, I wrote everything down. Amounts. Reasons. New tires for Dad's car. Medicine after his surgery. The family phone plan nobody else wanted to deal with. The internet bill that magically got paid every month. Food from the grocery store. Doctor visits. Emergency money I gave them right before banks closed. As I scrolled back through months and months of payments, my chest felt tight. None of this was supposed to be one time only. Even when they promised just this once. It became forever. Every emergency became my problem to solve. My word yes became the floor they walked on. At the top of my notes I typed something important. What they don't know is about to set me free. The next morning, Sunday, I met with my friend Sarah who works at the bank. We sat at a quiet coffee shop with wooden chairs that squeaked. Sunlight came through the windows in stripes across our table. I showed her a folder filled with printed receipts and screenshots from my phone. She looked through it slowly, page after page. Her face stayed calm until she got to the total numbers. Then she breathed in sharply. You've been their ATM machine, not their daughter, she said quietly. Time to take back control. Show me how, I told her. So she did. Step by step, Sarah explained how to cancel automatic payments, move accounts, protect myself the right way. Nothing dramatic or mean. Just clean and simple. Once I made my choice, I felt ready. On my drive home, I opened my banking app and went through Sarah's checklist like crossing a river on stepping stones. Cancel the automatic mortgage payment. Remove my card from the electric company system. Change the phone plan to a cheap prepaid one in only my name. All the bills that weren't really mine went back to the people they belonged to. By Sunday night, Ethan posted another story online. His table covered in leftover food. The caption read, "Real family isn't about money." The comments underneath were full of clapping hands. I muted his account. For the first time in years, my screen went quiet. Monday afternoon, I was at the hardware store buying light bulbs when I heard Uncle Pete's voice from the next aisle over. "We've got her trained now. She'll come crawling back soon." Kept walking. Bought my light bulbs. Put the receipt in my pocket like a promise to myself. That evening, Mom left me a voicemail. It started out calm but ended angry. "Since you won't say sorry, don't bother coming to Christmas either. And don't embarrass us by showing people your little spreadsheet." I listened to it 2 times. Then I deleted it. I sat quietly in my apartment and realized something important. Their silence didn't scare me anymore. 2 days later, the panicked phone call came. Mom's voice sounded broken and scared. "The mortgage payment didn't go through," she said like the sky was falling. Something settled inside me then. Like a rock sinking to the bottom of a pond. "I'll come over," I told her. "And I'll bring my folder." Their kitchen smelled like burnt toast when I walked through the door. The window blinds were half open. Strips of light cut across the table where Mom sat with her hands squeezed together tight. Her knuckles looked white. Dad slowly sat down in his chair. His face looked gray and tired like he hadn't slept in days. I placed my folder on the table between us. The plain cover looked strange on the wooden table where we'd eaten together for so many years. "This conversation is private," I said, glancing toward the hallway. "No one else can be here." Dad rubbed his forehead with his hand. "We thought Ethan was helping too," he whispered. His voice sounded almost sorry. I pushed the folder toward them and turned it so they could see the pages. "He told you that because I was the one actually paying," I said. "Here are all the transfers. Every single one from my bank account straight to your mortgage company." Mom's hands shook as she flipped through the pages. Grocery store receipts. Electric bills. Prescription medicine costs. The phone plan charges. The internet bill. Credit card payments. 3 whole years of lines and numbers. 3 years of me giving and giving. "You banned me from Thanksgiving until I apologized," I said softly. "So I stopped paying for the holiday you enjoyed without me. And I'm finished funding the parts of me you're ashamed of." The front door opened and Ethan walked in like he owned the place. He froze when he saw my folder on the table. His cocky smile slipped away. "You're seriously doing this?" he asked. His voice sounded sharp like my choice was an attack on him. I pulled out a clear plastic page from the folder and slid it across the table toward him. His text messages were marked with yellow highlighter. Dates. The "I'll pay you Friday" promises. The weeks that turned into months. The money that never came back to me. He looked at the pages. His jaw moved but no words came out. "You can call it betrayal if you want," I said. My voice stayed steady and strong. "But it's called a boundary." Mom's lips moved but she made no sound. Dad stared at the total numbers on the last page. His eyes looked wet with tears. "We didn't know," he said again, like saying it more times would make it true. "You didn't want to know," I corrected him. "It was easier to pretend Ethan was your success story and I was just the difficult one causing problems." Ethan snapped at me. "You can't just abandon them like this." I laughed. Not a happy laugh. Tired one. "I'm leaving them to be adults. Which you also are." His mouth opened then closed. He looked away first, unable to meet my eyes. "I'm not asking for the money back," I added, tapping the folder once with my finger. "I'm just done being used. From now on you handle your own bills." I left notes explaining which companies to call and how to set up automatic payments yourselves. "I'm not your bank anymore." The silence pressed down heavy in the room. The refrigerator hummed in the background. Car drove past outside. Finally, Dad's voice broke through the quiet. "What about Christmas?" His tone sounded thin and fragile like glass about to break. I looked him straight in the eyes. "I'll see how I feel when it gets closer. And I meant those words in a way I'd never allowed myself to mean anything with this family before. I picked up my folder, tucked it under my arm and walked toward the door. The afternoon outside was bright and clear and clean feeling. Each step toward my car felt like a door closing behind me forever. Driving home, I stopped at a red traffic light. Fear rushed through my whole body. What if they never talk to me again? What if nobody calls on my birthday? What if I end up completely alone? The light turned green and I made my turn. And making that turn, I realized something huge. I'd been living in fear of their silence for years and years. Maybe their silence was exactly what I needed to finally be free. By the end of that week, the family group chat lit up with awkward messages. Who can help reorganize the bills? Followed by strings of confused emojis and 0 volunteers. Someone typed Ethan's name and he replied with just one eye roll emoji. Then the chat went completely dead. Silent. Aunt Linda posted a quote about humility on Facebook. For the first time in years, nobody tagged my name under it. Ethan's weekend photo dumps got smaller and smaller. No more fancy restaurant dinners. Just board games under dim lamps at home. Mom sent me a recipe for chicken casserole like nothing had happened between us. I didn't reply. 2 days later, another text came. I didn't realize how much you were doing. We'll figure things out on our own. I read it twice. Set my phone down on the counter. That night, I made tea in my quiet kitchen. I looked at my own budget with only my bills on it. The numbers look so simple when they only belong to me. Still, their voices echoed in my head sometimes. Dad asking, "What about Christmas?" Ethan saying, "You can't just abandon them like this." But then I'd remember the folder full of receipts. The plate of turkey left on the porch. The way Mom typed "idiot" in her text like I wasn't her daughter. And those echoes would fade away into nothing. One evening the following week, my phone buzzed. Text from Ethan. I didn't know it was this bad. I'm sorry. I stood under a street light outside the grocery store, reading his message twice. I didn't reply. Not yet. Not immediately. Because this wasn't about one sorry. This was about years and years of being invisible until my money appeared. At the bakery a week later, the same worker from before looked up at me and smiled this time. Really smiled. "What can I get for you today?" she asked, friendly and warm. "Blueberry muffin warmed up with butter," I said. Just like any normal person ordering breakfast on a normal day. I walked outside into the sunshine, took a bite of the warm muffin, and for the first time in forever, it tasted like something simple. Something that didn't owe me anything. Something just for me. And that was the real victory. Not sitting at the kitchen table with my folder. Not the cancelled payments. But the quiet proof that I could walk away and still be okay. Still be whole. Still be me. The weeks that followed felt strange in a good way. Like walking into a room that had always been loud with yelling, and finding it finally peaceful. For the first time ever, my paycheck belonged to me. Paid my rent. My car insurance. I filled my fridge with food I actually wanted to eat. And I still had money left over just to breathe. The absence of their constant requests felt like breathing new air. Dad called one afternoon. His voice sounded softer than I'd ever heard it in my whole life. "We set up the automatic payment system," he said. Then after a long pause, "I'm sorry for making you feel like a wallet instead of a daughter." The words came out rough and unpracticed. They didn't fix everything that was broken. But they mattered. They actually mattered to me. Mom tried in smaller, quieter ways. She invited me over for dinner with no strings attached. No holiday pressure. No guilt. No obligations. Just spaghetti at the kitchen table on a regular Tuesday. She didn't apologize with words out loud. But she didn't need to. The hug she gave me at the door lasted 1 second longer than usual. And that silence between us said more than words ever could. Ethan stayed mostly quiet. Didn't post much online anymore. Didn't ask for money. Maybe his silence was the most honest thing he'd ever given me in our relationship. I kept the folder on my bookshelf at home. Not as a weapon to use against them. Not as a threat. But as a reminder. A memory of what I survived and what I chose instead of staying trapped. I don't know what next Thanksgiving will look like for our family. Maybe I'll be sitting at the table with everyone. Maybe I'll take a trip somewhere far away and drink hot chocolate from a paper cup. What I do know for certain is this. I won't be buying my seat at their table with silence or with my hard-earned money ever again. For once in my life, their silence didn't hurt me anymore. Set me free. Family isn't measured by how much money you pay to keep your place at the table. Real love doesn't demand silence when you're hurting or sacrifice when you have nothing left to give. It respects boundaries and limits, even when those boundaries hurt people's feelings. I spent years and years thinking my worth was connected to receipts and automatic payments and bank transfers. But the truth is so much simpler than that. I'm not their bank account. I'm not their ATM machine. I'm not their backup plan. I'm their daughter. And I get to decide what that word means for me. If this story made you feel something deep inside, tell me in the comments below. Have you ever had to draw a hard line with family members? Your voice matters here on this channel. We're building a community of people who understand what it means to stand up for yourself. And don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to Flex Revenge Unfold so you won't miss the next story. We post new stories every week about people who took back their power. Hit that notification bell so YouTube tells you the second we upload. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And remember, you're worth more than what you can give to others. Setting boundaries doesn't make you selfish. Makes you smart. Walking away from people who use you doesn't make you cold. Makes you strong. And choosing yourself after years of choosing everyone else doesn't make you a bad person. Makes you brave. I learned that the hard way. Through tears and sleepless nights and 87 missed calls that I didn't answer. Through a Thanksgiving dinner I wasn't invited to and a plate of food left on a porch for a cat to sniff. Through spreadsheets and bank statements and years of receipts I kept like evidence in a trial. But I also learned something beautiful. I learned that peace is possible. That quiet can be a gift. That my own company is enough. I don't need their approval anymore to know I'm valuable. I don't need their acceptance to know I'm worthy. I don't need their love to know I'm lovable. Have me. And for the first time in 27 years that feels like enough. So if you're watching this and you're in a similar situation, let me tell you something important. You're not wrong for wanting respect. You're not selfish for setting limits. You're not mean for saying no. You're human. And you deserve to be treated like you matter. Don't wait for 87 missed calls to realize your worth. Don't wait for a cruel text message to set you free. Don't wait until you've given everything and have nothing left. Start today. Start small. One boundary at a time. One no at a time. One step toward yourself at a time. The people who truly love you will adjust. The people who only loved what you could give them will disappear. And that's okay. That's more than okay. That's perfect. Because you're not losing family when you set boundaries. You're finding yourself. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for being part of this community. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, remember who you are. Remember what you're worth. And never, ever let anyone make you feel like an idiot for knowing your value. This is Riley Brooks, signing off from Flex Revenge Unfold. Stay strong, stay smart, and stay true to